I am talking about superheroes today, but I'm also doing the typical vet student thing. I'm talking about veterinarians and how they are superheroes. And so it wouldn't be right if I just didn't start off with a brief history of how I came to want to be a veterinarian. And I mean, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. I wanted to be a veterinarian from the time I was in the 3rd grade. I was given a research assignment, and of course at that time we were studying the extremely tedious, super tough material of determining nonfiction versus fiction. And I was given the nonfiction task. And you know, your libraries in elementary school are so cutely decorated, so I can see the bold caterpillar outlined nonfiction section, like just completely plain as day. And I decided to do my very first research topic on O. caniculus, which is basically the bunny rabbit. So what I did is I went to the nonfiction section and I got the largest 20-page novel that I could find with the biggest pictures with the extra large font and started flipping through the pages. And then I came across this guy. And he was really old looking with a very strange white jacket thing. But he was cuddling with a really cute little bunny rabbit. And a couple of turns of the page later, I discovered my dream job of becoming a veterinarian, and I've never changed my mind since. But I'm not going to talk about, why I want to be a veterinarian and why veterinarians we have the best job in the world. I mean, we have the power to do anything that we want, and I think we all know that. And if you don't know that by now, you should come talk to me at the end of this, and I will convince you that your options are limitless and you have the power to do anything and everything you want to do. What I want to talk about is how veterinarians, if we follow 3 simple guidelines, we can create an opportunity to transform into real-life superheroes that can succeed in anything that we want to achieve. The only difference is they got to wear really cool capes and we have to wear really lame white coats. These are just some of the options that we have as vets. So first off, what do we need to do in order to become this veterinary superhero that we are deep down inside? We need to define what a superhero is. So what comes to mind when you think of a superhero? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Kasie Richev.
Oh, I do not wear a cape under my clothes. I think of like this brave, courageous person who is willing to put their life on the line in order to save someone else, in order to benefit the greater cause, the greater good. They make insane sacrifices to help people in need, right? That sounds a lot like a veterinarian to me. But I believe that in order to really hone in on our veterinary superpowers, we have to think about this in a whole different way. And we really need to take time to think about and analyze some seriously fun questions. I get so excited whenever I get to talk to people about what they're passionate about and what they believe their purpose in life is. And so I think in discovering our veterinary superhero, it's important for us to answer questions like, what is it that you excel at? What are you an expert in? What is something that you can't go one day without thinking about? Because whenever you can answer those questions, that is where your passion lies, and that's where your purpose in life lies. And if there's one thing that I'm pretty confident about, it's that the one thing that occupies and consumes your heart and mind is the number one thing that will lead you to your passion and purpose. And wherever you find your passion and purpose, you will also find your greatest strengths, weaknesses, your greatest joy, and your greatest heartache. You get to experience the extreme on both sides of the spectrum. But that's what makes us superheroes. So if we go back to answering all these questions, like what do we excel at, and what's our passion, what's our purpose? These questions take a long time to answer. They're not easy questions, and sometimes the answers change. a lot. They actually change throughout the entire process of our lives. We react to situations and scenarios differently now than we would have 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago. We react to situations and experiences differently now than we would 5 minutes from now. It is through going back and reflecting and analyzing on all of the situations and scenarios that we are presented with throughout life that allows us to really think about what could I have done better, what could I have changed, and what will I change in my next situation like this to make me a better superhero. So that leads me to point number 2. Superheroes have superpowers. So we have to be able to figure out what our superpowers are. And for me, this was a lot harder than figuring out what my purpose was. Because it's a superpower. Like, I've always dreamed about flying. I'm afraid of heights. That just doesn't seem like it would work out very well. But these superpowers were presented to us in a way by the AVMA Vice President, Dr. Stinson, while she was here. That made it extremely helpful and really easy to figure out. Basically, Dr. Stinson said, every single experience that you have in life, everything that you go through, has the ability to either make you or break you in a way that you can use it for your benefit, or you can use it as a victim. She specifically challenged raw students and said, there is no way that after living on this island for 2 to 3 years, you cannot immediately list 5 things that make you unique and a better candidate over the next applicant. So I can list like 10 right now. Somebody give me some examples.
How to adapt.
Adaptability, key. Next one.
Patience.
Patience, holy crap. Yeah. Innovation. Public speaking.
Dude.
Hey, driving a manual vehicle. This is some pictures of Dr. Reddish and Dr. Stinson's visit with us here, and they were such great role models for us with how they presented themselves and how they spoke. And these are some of the challenges, or rather superpowers, that I believe I possess after being here at Ross. My little island car, Susie Q, she's missing a lot of details. She's a great car though. Our beautiful school on the Caribbean Ocean, where we get to do amazing things every single day. My 2 crazy dogs that have caused me several heartaches and panic attacks, especially the week before finals. Just had my first anesthesia lab. That was, my dog's heart was probably pounding about like mine right now. Very fast. And this is our group of the House of Delegates that I get to go sit on twice a year, being the South Delegate. So for me, I can list adaptability, diversity, the level of my maturation since I've been here, my leadership development since I've been here, my professional development. I've overcome anxieties. These are all unique skills, and when I say unique skills, think of them more as superpowers that we can use in order to market ourselves to be a better candidate over any other applicant. So another way that I've been able to kind of tap into my week of developing superpowers is through my obsession of TED Talks. Anybody else obsessed with TED Talks? They're phenomenal. And so this guy right here, his name is Scott Dinsmore, and he has a TED Talk that's titled, How to Find Work You Love by Living Your Legend. And I just love that, live your legend. And he talks about how you take 2 or 3 people who inspire you, who really inspire you, write their names down on a piece of paper. Underneath their names, write down why they inspire you. What is it about them that attracts you to them? What is it about them, and what is it about how they are presenting that makes you want to be more like that? So I started doing this a couple months ago. It's probably around the beginning of this semester, and it's a really interesting activity. So some of the things I wrote down, and I actually have the notebook over there if you want proof, is I wrote they're real in all caps. Real, like they're not fake. They're open and honest. They're confident. They're 100% confident in their values. They're personable and professional at all times. These are things that attract me to the people that inspire me. But the most common denominator is that when these people were speaking, when I was listening to them, I could literally feel their passion. Like I felt it. It just overcame me. And that's a superpower. To have that effect on someone that you're just speaking to is a huge superpower. Proof that we are superheroes. Simon Sinek is another TED presenter, and he said in his presentation that people don't buy what you do, but people do buy why you do it. And you want to do business with people who believe what you believe in. Which brings me to my next point. Surround yourself with positive people. So, how does this roll into superheroes? I'll get to that in a second. Quick activity. Take a moment. Think of the 5 people that you spend the majority of your time with. Got it? Okay. Now, do you remember Captain Planet and the Planeteers? Because this is what I want my team to look like. These guys. They come together and they just work as a team for one common goal, and they save the world. This is an example of one of my top 5s, my Incredibles. These are the Incredibles. This is my family. They are like the best support system in the world. My mom's been here twice. My middle sister has been here twice. She said she was going to move here once. My baby sister just left. My dad's grade 1. One day we'll get him here. But I'll never be able to thank my family enough for sending me here and supporting me while I'm here. So that is one example of how surrounding yourself with positive people, and I call them my vet hero super buddies, vet superhero buddies, that's what I call them, superhero buddies. So team 1, the Incredibles. Team 2, everybody has one, it's our clique, it's my island girls, and some of my very best friends. And these girls keep me extremely grounded, and they're there to give me my 5-minute pity party when I've had a really bad exam. And then they're there to drag me to my desk after that 5 minutes is over and say, snap out of it, keep studying. And I think it's really important to have people like them that you can have fun with, but they also remind you of why you're here, why what you're doing is so important. And group 3, I call these the Fabulous 5, by the way. That's a basketball team, not superheroes, but they were kind of superheroes. The Avengers. This is the brilliant group that I have the privilege of working with every week, serving the student body and serving Ross University. And this group challenges me in a different way. They challenge me to be more open-minded and to be increasingly less aware of my own bias and increasingly more aware of the bigger picture and the overall goal. And because of these people, I'm probably way too active and striving to be the best at my position and to always seek out resolutions to any problems that are presented. They push me to be a better leader, a better delegate, and a better public speaker. So, how have these principles helped me become more of a veterinary superhero personally? Well, almost a year ago, just under a year ago, I began to start recognizing and making a conscious effort to reflect on how my past experiences have changed me and molded me into the person that I've become, and how the current situations that I'm going through how I can either make them into a positive or into a negative, and how the